Dear viewers, welcome to a very special episode of NASCOM Insights Tech Talks. Special because we are today starting a new series, Tech Lead Her, where we will feature impactful women leaders from India's tech industry. Our first episode today features Sreedevi Hegde, Managing Director, Vervent GCC in India. Welcome to the show, Sreedevi.
Thank you, Achita. Very good morning and hello, viewers.
Great.
It's been amazing, to be part of this forum. Looking forward.
Thank you. Pleasure is ours. Now, Sridevi has had a checkered career so far in the Indian tech industry, working in GCCs, MNCs, consulting space. Interestingly, she has a finance background, but today she is recognized as a key tech leader. How did she become one? And how is she building Vervant as a key example of India's mid-market GCC growth story? Let's hear her out. So, Sridevi, the first question is about you. We want the audience to know you a little bit more. Would you like to talk about your education, your career highlights, your inspiration, role models, hobbies? Go ahead.
Sure, Achita. Uh, my career spans over 23 years, definitely in various industries like IT, product, consulting, BFSI, alone, across around 14 years, and then fintech now in varied roles, which I was designated like CEO, Chief of Staff, CEO, Change Management Lead, Transformation Lead. And I was associated with a lot of key organizations like Dell, Deloitte, SocGen, Credit Suisse, Citi, and now leading the India GCC for Vervent as Managing Director. Academically, as you rightly mentioned, I have a finance and management background. I have my master's degree in finance, international banking, and business management. However, I've been always associated with IT organizations and analytics across my career. So definitely I can say as, women in tech. Coming to role model, none other than Sudhamurthy, ma'am. I really admire her for what she has achieved, what she has contributed to society and how many lives she has touched, right? Still, she's so humble. So, definitely no match for her. Inspiration, I would say my son, Vismay. The reason is, he gives me that confidence every day, day in, day out, for me to go out and pursue my dreams and goals because he's completely on his own. Um, Coming to hobbies, I'm a more of spiritual. So I am a yoga teacher. I have a yoga sessions which I run. Plus, I do a lot of painting, interior designing, just for to let go my easy time with it. Then traveling, I do a lot of CSR activities, specifically in teaching. So that's me.
Thank you, Sridevi. I think all the things that you mentioned, your inspirations, your hobbies, actually paint a very good picture about how well-rounded as a personality you've kind of become. But more on Vervent, then moving forward, Sridevi, what does Vervent do? I mean, it's new in India, and one is Vervent at a global level, and the GCC that you're setting up. What does that do? So, could you share a little bit of light on that?
Sure. Uh, I got this opportunity to set up Vovent India GCC last year. Vovent globally is a small and medium enterprise that cater to mid-market customers and business units as well as large banks. It is a fintech leader headquartered in San Diego, present in 4 different countries and 6 different locations. Globally, we are about close to 1,600 headcount. We are backed by strong private equity giant. Also, Vovent is the only organization in the fintech industry that specializes in three lending solutions like loan, lease, and credit cards. We also have direct to customer services like specialized credit cards, which we manage. Now, coming to India, as I said, we started a year ago. Now we are strong 250 members team already. But the important part is we have set up already all the functions like IT, infra, 24 by 7 desktop support that is from which is driven from India, PMO, back office support, which is both voice and non-voice, global procurement team, finance, compliance team, bankruptcy specialist also we have a small team of it, and data science team, model risk, HR team, corporate branding team, and many other. And how that happened? Because we had that vision to get build truly a capability center here, which will on in the journey of becoming a COEs on their own. With this, we transitioned around 200 plus process across, starting and already reaching most of the maximum percentage of process handled in one single locations for our organization. Plus, we have our own HRIS system, payroll, a learning platform, everything live, stabilized, and in-house handled by my own team here. So now the next journey is more about stabilizing these processes, teams, and looking forward for creating more efficiencies for the organization and process.
Great. I think good to see that you have laid the groundwork for a very strong, stable team, which is very future focused. But just to step back, Sreedevi, you've grown large company GCCs in the past, right? You've been there in big banks, big organizations, who've really scaled up. And today you're trying to grow a mid-market organization. Um, uh, how's this different? How's this your current, what you're doing at Vervent different from what you've done in the past? Are you looking at the operations, the overall vision, transformation, the people model very differently, the strategy overall in a different way at Vervent, being a smaller mid-market organization as compared to the larger banks that you've worked on? Any thoughts on that, please?
Definitely. You're right that in my career, I've been associated with big banks and who had like huge setups or shops in India. If see, I've been associated with whatever the organizations. I've always been, part of creating teams or creating specific business units, growing specific business units, specific capabilities, or larger, in the larger organizations, creating specific areas which has grown. But this one was special because it was more of and a new experience for me of building multi-dimensional, multi-skilled, multifunctional organization, that too from scratch, literally filling up the incorporation papers and whatnot, right? Whatever is required to set up a GCC in India. Uh, and the important part, for us too was everything was happening simultaneously, like either your vendor onboardings to support our functions, operations here, or finding a space, a strategic place, location in Bengaluru, being the city which has the GCC hub for in India, the biggest concentrated GCC here, and then transitioning the process in the other hand, which went hand in hand. When it comes to how different it is when it comes to bigger organizations, the mid-market GCCs, the expectation is completely on what it gets to give the results sooner, right? When I say
Yeah.
that, initially, even though the reason to set up the GCC in any world, right, in from any organizations who are headquartered in either in NAM, EMEA, or Australia, is the cost arbitrage. But the expectation for the mid market is seriously or very very straightforward, and they expect that we contribute to the strategy goes right away. We don't need to wait, and there is no waiting period for it. So that's what makes it work between the speed and the the journey what we need to do. So in that way we need to really change the strategy. What we need to, like, we need to cater to innovation, digital hubs
Right.
which need to be created upfront. Like, it's not, we will not have time to really wait. Okay, transition is happening, let's wait and see, and let's stabilize. Everything has to happen in hand. Okay, that's what gives that, I would say, an edge. And I love challenges, so that is what I think is really helpful. What we are doing in Vervent is we are already starting or investing in a small team which will work on specific customer service priorities what we have for Vervent in 2025. Means they will already start working on a product or whatever the expectation from our board, because truly, as I said, we really need to move towards progressing faster, establish, and also contribute directly to our uh, headquarters. And being in the service industry, or the fintech industry, Vervent is speed is key for us, and Vervent tagline is itself is accelerate with us.
Yeah, I think great point that you built out, Sridevi. In fact, when we are doing our GCC mid-market report right now, and one of the key things that we are seeing is that we have this four-step maturity framework for GCCs, right? We have outposts, we have satellites, portfolio hubs, and then at the top point we have this transformation hubs. What we see is that as compared to the overall GCC sector, the mid-markets ones are more mature towards the top end of the maturity platform, and that builds to your story that you have to be a lot faster to get to the top level, to the most mature category, build products, build transformation initiatives, plug in with your overall digital transformation charter of the organization and start contributing from day one. So I think completely agree with the point that you built on that mid-market GCCs are built for speed. I think that's the most important piece, and speed towards innovations. I think that's the way I would like to put it, and good that it aligns with Vervent's goals. But going back to the other point that, if you look at India, everybody used to say that it's the scale that India has, right? Today, we have more than 5.8 million people working in the tech sector. But most of the mid-market GCCs are not large-scale operations. I mean, they will probably not want to leverage India's large volumes of talent. There may be specialist talent, but then what's India's value proposition for mid-market GCCs if you're not looking at large scale? How are you looking at the story?
Very good question, Achita. We all know, irrespective of size, many factors are key differentiators which India offers, right, as in the market globally. That's why we are leaders in GCC, as in hub, as in India, right? I think many other factors which contribute here is the robust technology ecosystem we support, the culture compatibility, and supportive ecosystem like infrastructure, connectivity, and economic stability now, plus English speaking population, then time zone advantage, established global delivery models, promising R&D activities, and thriving startup ecosystem. These are all the value propositions. But coming to mid market, I think we all know, and it's been one of the reads that 50% of our GCC is mid market GCCs, if you know. So what is it that attracting globally to set up these is definitely some key differentiators or points which I want to mention is the visionary leadership to anticipate disruption in the ecosystem and plan ahead to mitigate. So that becomes really key. Yeah. Then high-end skilled professionals, which we hire, like when we go into market, right? For Vervent only, for example, when we go into market, we will really need to look for those really high-end and like superstar, professionals who really can come and take the ground and understand the business quickly. We have our data science team, even though it is just 8 to 10 members, they're already doing amazing or building amazing models, which is directly helping our to service our customers and even creating products. So that's what differentiates, and that's one of the value prop we can offer to all the mid market organizations. Then another important, agility and adaptability. We have spoken enough, right? Even the big organizations, whichever how much ever time they take, still agility and adaptability comes into play. Our IT team here really does smaller sprints, and they just keep churning the projects or getting out way of developing things. So that's amazing when I see their speed here. What all will this relate to or end up is the productization, means which you just mentioned in the previous discussion, right? We can really contribute from the day one, and we can get with the help of ecosystem what we have in India, create products, create a lot of avenues which will help directly the global headquarters teams.
Yeah, I think those are great points. I was just noting something down for my follow-up conversations. Another thing, Sreedevi, what we have seen is that some GCCs in India, most GCCs in India are today building global roles and fostering gender diversity. So how is Vervent acting in these phases, in these areas, building global roles or fostering gender diversity in the organization?
Oh, that's another nice question. At Vervent, within 1 year, we have achieved around 46% when it comes to gender diversity, with our just being 1 year in India. I think it's kudos to my talent acquisition, HR, and managers who made that conscious effort that we get this mix. Uh, because the aim of our organization is to build and establish diverse but yet inclusive team with a unified culture, right? I, as a person, I never believe in numbers, Ajita. It's more about, for me, is an indicator, the numbers are, but what it brings to table is the varied perspective, skill set, and diversified thoughts to drive organization goals. Because it really balances the perspective what we can get, right? How we can contribute a goal, which is a shared goal along with our headquarters, right? we strongly encourage this approach in our organization with every team. Okay, whenever I have discussion with my leadership team, or even in US also with my management team there. When coming to building global roles, again it goes back to the mid-market theme, right? Our teams are small. We are not in thousands, right? Or maybe in hundreds for some team, or maybe in like even less par 50. So getting global roles, creating global roles here becomes again up in the journey faster, right? It comes more early for us. In Vervent, India, we already have global roles or folks who are already handling the global responsibilities like corporate branding, which helps the global across all locations, global procurement team who handle from here, the teams, various, the vendors and everything. Then we have information security lead. We have contact center lead here. We have training and L&D director here working out of and supporting all other locations. Many other, and we are hiring many more roles. And that, it's really exciting because this enables for all of us to have voice across right forums across the board when meeting happens in the headquarters or in any other location. So it's very important for us to stabilize, grow, and become that essentially important uh, part of the headquarter organization.
Agree. And what challenges have you faced, Sridevi, when you established Vervent in India, internal, external? What kind of issues have you faced, and how have you countered them?
I think being a most optimistic person and love challenges, I would term it as exciting avenues and learning opportunities for myself and my team here, because most of it we were able to overcome. We did had a challenges in earlier. It was very simple, right? Any organization when it starts with the scratch of doing the paperwork and all those things, but it was pretty straightforward because I see some very good support from government when it comes to single window support and all, but it can be streamlined further. Now coming to specific points which I would want to share at this juncture is we did had a partner, local partner to help set up. And like with the scale what I mentioned, right, and the speed, we are already 200 plus. I think the talent attraction was definitely one of the things which we beginning of the journey on only I could address it. Why specifically? Because during the mid market or for the mid market organizations, right, we will not have a brand which is established, so it becomes for us difficult to go to even in the market or even to our RPO partners, right, to make them understand what does Vervent does and what are we looking for, right? Initially, it will start off as, oh, is it a back office or so kind? No, it's a truly capability center. So what we did is we started very correctly, created that awareness more in our hiring partners, our in-house, my talent acquisition team. So when we go into market, we choose the right candidates or right resources whom we talk to explicitly about the brand and what we are here for. That was very important. Talk about our vision. Second was, I think, introducing brand and establishing it. So straight away, that because that was one of my favorite areas, along with my branding lead here, we straight away started with creating right contents, right videos, life in Vervent things or what we celebrated, and many milestones to put across, and also creating our own employee value props or advocacy from them, because that goes a long way. We are huge when it comes to internal reference and all, so that is one of the things which I think we all need to cash on. Plus choosing the right talent. When I say right talent for any organization, Achita, having the right seed team is very important. That initial 100 plus team members are very key, even including the leadership roles. Why? Because that is what which can make or break. Because we are expected to establish, settle fast, grow, and also contribute. So in that time, attrition will be a deterrent if we do not choose right talent. So that's one of important things what we have looked at. Plus definitely the leadership roles, huh? Like in other organizations, bigger organization, right, I've worked with, here the expectation is that the leaders needs to be hands on completely, even plus they need to be strategic, so they really have to balance how they contribute or how they handle their roles. Then, of course, for any other organizations or even the mid market or our own organization, setting the right culture, because it has to balance what is the culture as a globally Vervent has and what the India sensitiveness adds to it. So that's important for us when it comes to or various other challenges. But I think pretty far till now we have come across pretty well. I'm really happy that we are already moving towards creating center of excellence and becoming essential part of our global organization.
Great, Sridevi. So Sridevi, moving on to the next one, what do stakeholders really need to do in India to attract more mid-market GCCs in India? I mean, what do you think? Uh, NASCOM, governments, right? Academia, industry, right? What do we need? How do we attract more such organizations like Vervent into India? What do we need to do?
I think a lot has been done so far with a lot of forums. Recently, right, various states, to start with Karnataka government, right, they already came up with GCC, guidelines, and many other followed after that. It's good to have the guidelines and policies and later explicitly, but I think it needs to be also marketed or made awareness sessions more. It's not
Yep.
only in India, outside also, because it's about having it and making available for the people or even for our leaders like our kind who are picking up these roles and trying to build the organizations or building the organization. So what I'm talking about here, the single window approval, right, from the government, it's important and it needs to be seamless. I still think there are some more gaps which needs to be addressed. Definitely, NASCOM can help us with that in any case, right, in any day. Then
Yep.
clear policies when it comes to taxations, the transfer pricing agreements or whatever the various percentages we talk about, like the cross press models. All these things, uh, we do have forums which help, like NASCOM or many other support functions, support organizations, partners, but we need to have more clear policies in that, or more stabilized policies, I would say, right? We keep seeing the policies keep changing, so in recent times. Then I think you would agree, right? We have competition between states, right? All our neighboring states about whom to attract more GCCs. Rather, we need to, I think, look for more organized way how to approach it and more healthier, competition, because it helps the India ecosystem drastically when we are competing with other countries. Definitely not to let miss the point about the promoting innovation through incentivizing startups, because this is the biggest ecosystem we have in India, right? The startup ecosystem. So we need to really ensure to nurture it, including corporates, NASCOMs, or government, everything. There are many programs, but we need to have that unified or maybe more concentrated programs towards that and see whether how it is impacting. Right? What is the last mile impact we need to see? And definitely last one is talent pipeline creation, right? There is a lot of gap. We know a lot of academias are joining hands along with corporates, with NASCOM, many other organizations, but still I see there is a gap which need to, maybe it is in the curriculum, we need to add more, which will help, right? They are ready as soon as they are available in the market. So it needs to be hand in hand, collaboration between all the organization to create it, because we see that what is creating the talent war actually between the organizations. We need to curtail that. So that happens only when we start co-creating or we are seeing that more impactful creation to create that, reduce that talent gap.
Yeah, I don't think you've left anything else, Shridevi. You've covered everything from a challenge perspective. But you see, many of these government GCC policies are actually promoting tier two, tier three cities a lot. Do you ever see Vavant going to a tier two, tier three location, or do you think Bangalore is the only place you want to grow in?
Oh, I'm a huge supporter of that. Okay, definitely we should go.
Hmm.
Definitely we should explore that. But again, it depends on what kind of skills and quality, and is it
Yeah.
scalable? It's not scalable, or is it sustainable? Right? Again,
Hmm.
what happens? I'm seeing, right, to entry level or mid market, it is still okay. But when it comes to, as of now, the condition, market condition, right, will becomes difficult to get leadership roles, and then automatically, it comes back to the tier one cities.
Agree. Last question, Sridevi. You are a successful tech leader in India. What success mantras would you like to share with those who aspire to be like you, our audience?
That's a wonderful question, and I think my favorite question, Achita. To start with, I have a bigger mentor circle outside the organization or inside, and many of them would have heard me saying this. Nonetheless, I would like to know again, share with this viewers. Uh, First thing is inquisitiveness. Always be that kind of person who is very curious to learn. It's always helpful. You learn new things, new perspectives, and it keeps you more relevant always to the industry. And even when you're working with Gen Zs, right, it is very key. You need to learn from them. Then the second one is to challenge the status quo. Ask right questions. Why I say that, when it comes to India GCCs or these kind of setups, it's always important that you ask right questions in right forums, starting from learning. So I say this to my team members, that whenever you start learning, you ensure that you do a control A and control C. So I give this analogy, right? Control A and control C means you ask the right questions, ask what is the upstream and downstream when you're learning a process. And when you do control paste, use paste special feature. So that paste special will be what you contribute, right? When you're learning the process. So that's important. Then always relate yourself to the bigger picture. What is it, right? Like, what is the organization? What is the vision when you will go back? Why this has come to me, or why I think it is important for everybody is, since my beginning of my career, I've always been associated with working with uh, leadership team or leaders like country heads and many other. So that helps me, and it always has given me that thought process to think strategically as well as practical, which is possible. Then I think genuine networking, that came definitely from my consulting background. Networking can happen anywhere, and it has to be genuine, because it'll really grow you as a professional as well as when it comes to your work, right? It's very important. Use very forums, or either online or in person. Use those forums and make real genuine networking. Last but not the least, I think it mainly for my um, co-friends or women leaders who aspire to be women leaders and women professionals is, live with your decision, okay? Be easy on yourself. I know we always get into a guilt of, oh, I have this responsibility, I have that responsibility, but live with your decision, right? Whatever you do, it's absolutely fine. You want to pick up or sometime prioritize your family, it's absolutely fine. Prioritize yourself is very important. Either you prioritize in family or work or anything, but prioritize yourself. It's important. So be little good on yourself, but yes, live with your decision. So these all things which I follow, which has helped me to be where I am. But I enjoy, being with people, guiding them, and creating platforms for younger generations.
Thank you, Sridevi. Brilliant closure and great tips for all the audience that's watching you and inspired to be like you. From a mid-market GCC stories, what I could pick out, as key drivers, speed for innovation being one, contributing from day one with a very product-focused mindset. I think that's something that differentiates the mid-market GCCs, and visionary leadership to anticipate disruptions and build strategies around it, uh, hiring highly skilled employees, and indicating or showing agility and adaptability to current market conditions. I think these are key highlights of mid-market GCCs. At a personal level, what I learned today, Sridevi, is that your variety in experiences, hobbies, taste, along with a passion to make a difference, has really made you the tech leader that you are. Inquisitiveness, challenging status quo, even the pace special is a great analogy, right? What do you bring to the table? What you contribute. I think these are all great tips that you shared today. So thank you for joining in today, Sridevi, on NASCOM Insights Leader Talks. And we look forward to having you again sometime later. And viewers, please like and subscribe to our channel. And if you would like to see more of such videos, just give us a message. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajita.